Welcome back to the One-on-One Sports Webcast. I'm now joined by our NFL experts, Tyler Patchen and Robbie Nana. Guys, we're going to look at some of the most competitive divisions in both the AFC and NFC. And you're going to tell me what your confidence level is in the current division leaders and whether they'll earn a playoff spot or secure a wild card spot. First, we're going to start with the current NFC North leaders, the Detroit Lions. What's your percentage on them, Tyler?
I give them about a 45 to 50% chance. Right now they're sitting at 7-3. They're going to play New England next week. They're also tied with the Green Bay Packers, who are doing really well right now. But, you know, the good thing is for them, they're playing well. That's a very important key. Right now they're first in the NFL in passing yards. Stafford is playing okay, but he's playing consistently. Had about 13 TDs, about over 2,600 yards. Reggie Bush is coming back from injury. I mean, they have good players and wide receivers such as Golden Tate, great name, by the way. So I think if they step it up, play consistently, they can have the division. If not, they are definitely looking for a wild card spot.
Tyler, I agree with you completely. I'm giving them 40% chance, except they still need to play Green Bay and New England. Those are going to be two tough games. If they can get past that, there's no doubt they can make the playoffs and I think make a run. The thing is, their defense is really holding them up now. I think their offense needs to step it a little bit, and if they can do that, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, you look at guys like Calvin Johnson, Golden Tate, all those tight ends. They really have a lot of weapons. Got to start getting some more consistency on offense. Now moving on to the NFC South, the division no one really seems to want to win. The Falcons are currently leading that one.
I've lost all hope with the Falcons. I give them 10%, and honestly, I think that's a little bit high, thinking about if they're going to make the playoffs. This past weekend, they beat the Panthers, who have been, at best, a shaky team this season. I mean, turnovers left and right. They still have to play Arizona and Green Bay. Those are going to be two tough games, and the way they're playing now, I just don't see them making the playoffs.
I also agree. I mean, I give them a 20% because they're 4-6, tied with New Orleans, who is also 4-6. I mean, they have, before this 2-game winning streak that they've been on, they lost 5 straight. I mean, they are last in passing yards in the NFL. Matt Ryan, who had prospects at the beginning of this year, has just been absolutely underperforming. Even the people you trust in wide receiver, Steven Jackson, 0 TDs. So if they can win the division in what seems that division no one wants to win, I mean, you have Carolina at 3-7, you have Tampa Bay way at the bottom. It looks as though, in a way, it looks good, but not good at the same time. So I'm giving them just a flat-out 20%.
Yeah, looking at that division, you're definitely have to win that division to get in the playoffs. Yeah. You'll see any wild cards coming out there. Moving on to the AFC. In the South, we got the Indianapolis Colts.
I really like the Colts. I'm going to give them a good 90-95%. They're sitting at 6-4 right now. Houston is right behind them at 5-5. So they just need to kind of watch out for them, remain vigilant. They had a big loss this week against New England that could have really set them way above. But you know, they're looking good. They have the playmakers of Andrew Luck, over 3,300 yards, 28 TDs. Granted, they've had Ahmad Bradshaw, who unfortunately is injured. But, you know, solid backup in Trent Richardson, several TDs, over 400 yards. They have solid wide receivers in Ty Hilton, Reggie Wayne. The thing is, if they keep on the track they're on, watch out for other teams, and they look to be a solid team heading in, and I think they will make the playoffs definitely by winning the division.
I think they definitely make the playoffs too. If you look, they actually don't have that tough of a schedule for the rest of the season. Their toughest competitor, I say, is Dallas.
Yeah.
But still, I think the way they're playing, definitely they could pass that. And I see them ending the season around 12-4, definitely making the playoffs. Defense might need to step it up a little bit, but I think they look good.
Yeah, their offense has definitely been impressive, and they do have Jacksonville and Tennessee in their division, so a couple more easy wins to pick up there. Moving on to the AFC West, we got the Denver Broncos currently leading that one.
Broncos, I'm saying 70%. The only reason why I say that is that they had tough loss this week with the Rams, which was surprising. But anytime Peyton Manning's your quarterback, you got to have confidence in them. He's a great leader, and the weapons they have in Julius Thomas, Demarius Thomas, and Ronnie Hillman really stepping up this year, I think they really are going to make a run, at least in a wild card spot.
Yeah, I'm going to give them a 60%, a little bit lower. I mean, this loss to the Rams was pretty surprising, but they had a few people injured, and that was one of the big things. Thing is, they have Peyton Manning, and that's one of their big key players. But I'm looking at their schedule. They have Miami and Kansas City up next. Now, Kansas City is tied with them in the West at 7-3, and they are also a very, very dangerous team to watch out for. They've also been not so much flying under the radar, but they have been on their heels. However, he does have good receivers to go through. Peyton Manning, Demarius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, running back Ronnie Hillman. So they've been good offensively, and that has been one of their key points for Denver. They've had defensive issues is the one thing I'm worried about. So between that and the schedule, they looked as though they will be in the playoffs, if not through the division, definitely through the wild card.
Yeah, I think definitely when you got Peyton Manning, playoffs are almost a sure thing. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this block, but stay tuned as Tim sits down with our NHL experts to talk about some early season hockey.